Hello, everybody. It's Zane Miller. I decided to start the broadcast just a few minutes early to get everybody to, corral on in here and just kind of chat it up, see how things are going with you guys as far as Google Plus and stuff goes, see how you're enjoying the community. If you have no idea what I'm talking about when you say, whoa, what do you mean community? You need to check out the members area and sign up for the private community on Google Plus. So, as I said before, starting just a few minutes early, just to sort of say hi and everything, and get the ball rolling. In this webinar, I'm actually going to be going into more of reviewing the basics and answering your questions, so you can all get more comfortable with Google Plus. Now, we'll be sticking to the basics since everyone's still pretty new. But I will be focusing on the more advanced content in the next webinar. So if you have more advanced questions, go ahead and throw them at me. I will cover them as best I can now, but we'll make notes to add to the discussion for the next webinar, and if needs be, even make a video. So how's everybody doing today? Let me know how the weather's going. It is coming down like cats and dogs here. It's snowing like crazy. So what about the rest of you? Let me see. Let's open up the questions section. Actually, the weather has been relatively warm on my end, and this is actually the first real heavy snowfall that I've had for a while. Hello, Kathleen. How are you? Carolyn, welcome. Warm in Dallas. Lucky, lucky. Loud and clear from the UK. Dark and fairly mild. All right. Warm in Israel. Wow, we have this just the smattering across the globe. In Phoenix, 73 today. Yeah, well, forget you. Debbie in Florida, 70 and sunny. I spent some time in Florida in September, and I was I'm pretty much a homesick Eskimo. I mean, I was just sweating like crazy when I was there. It was killing me. I believe that Florida tried to kill me when I was there, but no one will believe me. Paige, Virginia Beach, nice and warm. Susan, recovering from the surprise of the online banking service. Oh, that's rough. I just did some online banking stuff over the weekend myself. Polar bears like you have to learn to adjust to the heat. Yeah, actually, I was closer to like a lizard and just loved the heat. And then I spent some particularly cold winters in Utah, up in the mountains, where it snowed right up until like May and June. So I think my body acclimated a little too well to that. So we got about 60 seconds on the clock before we jump into this. Again, I want to be going over the basics of Google Plus so you guys get more comfortable with it, because that's really the goal here. We are so far ahead of the curve here that this is more of a marathon for us. But as we start moving forward more and more and using Google Plus more, the goal here, especially with you early adopters, is to get comfortable enough with it that by the time everybody else starts rushing over to Google Plus, you are leagues ahead of everybody else, and people are just afraid to compete with you. So there was also a question that was brought up, that a request to go into Hangouts, how to organize those and things like that. I will be going into that a little bit, but it's a tiny bit out of scope as far as this particular part of the webinar goes. The next one, again, will have more of the advanced stuff, but I really want to get into the basics of this and explain it fully so that everybody understands and they're not intimidated to move forward, because that seems to be the biggest stopping point for most people here. With a dry heat, yes. Enjoying the community, excellent, excellent. All right, so let's go ahead and call this officially going, right? We've got a bunch of people here, and I'm again going to encourage you. I'm going to show you the tab here, and we'll jump back in just a second. The Plus Method private community, right here it is. And we've got a bunch of people already in here, but if you've never seen this before, you're, whoa, what's this community? It's in the members area. There should be a link that sends you there, and you'll be able to either connect with Rebecca or with Cheryl, and they will get you into the group. You can't find it anywhere on Google+. You literally have to be invited into the group. That's how secret it is, okay? But as you can see, we have all of the topics, all 8 modules and all the bonus modules as categories within this community. So if there's any questions that there's these burning questions that you have, you can join the community and then you can ask questions about any specific module or any topic within that module, and we can all discuss it within the community because there's actually a lot of really sharp people in here that are catching on that can also contribute to everyone's education here. Let's see. It says, anyone hearing audio? Oh, never mind, speakers are off. Okay. Just to double check, can everybody hear me? A 1 or a yes, just to be sure before we launch into this. Yes, yes, lots of yeses. Okay. Perfect, perfect. And this is being recorded, so not to worry. Anybody who gets here late or didn't get to see the live version of this, this is being recorded and will be put in the members area. I'm also going to be giving Dave my notes for this webinar. I'll be adding it as a PDF so that you'll have the video and the note part of it as well, so you can follow along. So I don't believe I have access to the G+ community. Can you send me the link? The best thing to do if you don't see the link in the members area is to contact support. That's support. Actually, let me just go over to the community because it's posted right there. Right, so it is support.rapidcrush.com. Contact them, say here's my Gmail address, and either Rebecca or one of the other support people will help you. By the way, Rebecca is just the coolest person ever. She's one of the community managers here, and she is awesome, just beyond awesome. So Rebecca, if you're here and you're listening to this, high five, you rock, okay? That's a great question. Can you put local businesses into circles? Absolutely, you can, and we'll be going into that more. So let's go ahead and dive in. So I'm going to have to move these questions out of here. Everybody can see the Google screen here. I already said we could be going over the basics here. So diving right in, Google is doing everything they can to keep users on their platform, and Google Plus is a perfect example of that. So it's not really a matter of if, but when the masses fully migrate over to Google Plus. Now is the time to start using Google Plus so you get more comfortable with it and so that you are positioned in front of your customers in a much, much better way than anybody else who comes in 6 months or even a year from now. Now, the Google Plus integration is in full force. Now, Google Plus can be found everywhere in Google, in Gmail, in the calendars, even on the home page itself. You can see right here, here's Google Plus. If I click on this, it will take me directly to my Google Plus homepage. This is the little notification, the little bell that rings and says, hey, you have things that are happening here. Right, so as you can see, I have two new notifications right here, some people adding me to their circles, and then a comment from the private community. But this notification, this little bell, can be seen from any Google platform, including YouTube and Gmail. So consider that. Consider the people who are following you in Google Plus and how you communicate with them. They can see your notification on every Google platform, so you're constantly in the know. It's not the fact that they don't have to be on Google Plus specifically. They can be in some ancillary part of Google and still see that, whereas a site like Facebook, you have to be on Facebook to see the notifications and to interact from there. But Google's got their spider webs all over the place when it comes to this. So the integration, it's even gotten to the point where YouTube has replaced their comment system with Google Plus. So let me show you an example of this. This guy right here, this is James Wedmore. If you're not familiar with him, he's a brilliant YouTube guy, and he knows a lot of video marketing things in relation to YouTube. And he actually made a video about this new integration with the Google Plus comments being mashed into YouTube, and there's actually been a lot of controversy about it. And so he made this video, and then what I did, as we scroll down, you can see that I'm one of the top commenters here. And what I did is I posted on Google Plus, and then I added the YouTube video into my Google Plus post. And what that does is actually puts that post, that comment that you make, in the actual YouTube video itself. So I didn't do this on YouTube. I did this on Google Plus. And when I did it on Google Plus, it attached that post, that comment, to the YouTube discussion. And it got enough interest that I became the top commenter. So it says Zane Miller via Google Plus. I said, so let me get this straight. And then I mentioned James Wedmore, which if you are unfamiliar with how to do, you just add the plus and then start writing the person's name, just like you see in Facebook, it pulls up that person's name, and then you can select that. So if you actually mouse over it, we can see we could actually click on James Wedmore's name and go to his profile. This is one of those common courtesy sort of things that you want to do, mentioning their name, especially if it's in some kind of content like a video like this, where I've done it. This bolsters his name and his brand, so he really likes this. So what ended up happening here is that Amber L said, hey, that's a great video. And then Vicky said, hey, thanks for sharing, and then mentioned my name because that's the common courtesy. If we scroll down a little bit more, though, we see Amber L, she made a comment on Google+. And then she mentioned me and James Wedmore and the video, which posted her comment on there as well, which made my comment up here rise that much higher. So that's why I'm kind of stuck here, right? So not to worry if you guys want to check this video out. It's actually a pretty interesting video. It's going to be in the webinar notes that I'm going to be uploading after this is over. You can go check out the link and interact from there if you'd like. Now, does that make sense, guys? Do you see the possibilities that are here? You don't have to be just on YouTube. You can be on Google Plus and still get that kind of exposure. Imagine if this was a video that had, say, I don't know, 500, 600, maybe even 1 million views, and you were the top commenter, and you have a link that goes straight back to your Google Plus profile. In addition to this, what you may not know is that for the longest time, you could not put a link in a YouTube comment. It had to be, you know, a lot of people would they would say www.website.com, so it didn't look like a URL, and you could still at least see it and then spell it out. Whereas with this new integration with Google+, you can actually put a link. In fact, let me just show you. Right, so like http://. Now, most of the time, if I clicked post, it would say you can't do this. Let me see if I'm brave enough to do this, right? Okay, so you can see right there, I could go to website.com. From my comment, I'm just going to go ahead and delete it really quick because that's not really important. But I wanted you guys to see that you can actually put a full URL, a clickable URL, into a comment, which has never been able to be done before. So this integration from Google Plus into YouTube is just the beginning. Google wants Google Plus to be everywhere that everyone social is. So they're giving us these concessions. They're saying, okay, well, if you peel off away from these other social media sites and start focusing on Google Plus, look at all the cool things that you can do with it as a marketer. So let me open up the questions back up again, make sure I'm not losing anybody. Alrighty. All right, yes. I don't believe I have access. Yeah, okay, we already went over that. Yes, you can put local businesses into circles. Let's see. All right, helpful. Okay, good. So everybody's on the same. Did you add the video in Google Plus to automatically get your comment? Yes, I did. In fact, let's just jump over to my my Google Plus profile here really quick. Open up the home tab here, and I'll show you what I mean. So if I start writing a post, so I'll go, come on, back up. There we go. All right. So we've got photos, link, videos, right? If you click on videos, it's going to say it's going to pull you straight to YouTube. If there's a video link that's not on YouTube that you want to post in your Google Plus profile, just use the regular link and it'll post the video. But since Google Plus and YouTube are one and the same now, when you click on YouTube, you can actually search for the video, right? So you can search for it, or you can enter the specific URL. When you do add the YouTube video to your post, what ends up happening is that it adds it here, and then anything that you write in here will be the post on the YouTube watch page. Does that make sense, Nicole? See, I'm working through Plus method and just started about strategy to find people. Is there an optimum sequence for exploring shared and public circles? Absolutely, Tony. We'll be touching on that a little bit further. So you're on the ball. You're actually a little bit further ahead. So say you had a large following on YouTube. How do you begin interacting with others on Google Plus? That is a fantastic question, Lauren. actually what's happening already is that any time that you upload a video to YouTube or you do a Hangout or broadcast, it automatically posts to your Google Plus profile. I get a big kick out of this because I chat with Don Wilson, and you know how he's a big Facebook guy and everything like that. So he's always talking about Facebook, and he's always, you know, thumbs down on the whole Google Plus thing. But what he doesn't realize is that every time he makes a video on his YouTube channel about Facebook, it posts it right on his Google Plus profile, whether he likes it or not. Now, if you don't want to do that, like if I were Don and I didn't want to do that, I'd go back through into my Google Plus profile and just simply delete the posts. But why would you want to do that? Traffic is traffic, whether it comes from Facebook, Google Plus, Pinterest, you name it. So, moving on, let's jump back to where we were before. Again, this is an integration with Google Plus and YouTube that is huge, and I believe is also just one of the first things that are going to, the first of many things that are going to be integrating even further, that just makes it more and more of a, you know, of course I need to be on Google Plus, right? But that's why you guys are the early adopters and can take advantage of this. So upward and onward. Let me check my notes. All the questions looks to be answered. And again, guys, go ahead and fire in the questions, and I'll be intermittently responding to them as we go through. I want this to be a very, you know, back and forth Q&A sort of thing. So there's the example. So I posted the link, etc., etc. So all right, let's start talking about circles. Now, circles are what makes Google Plus work. If you can understand circles, 90% of Google Plus is really easy. Now, circles are like friends on Facebook. I add you, you add me back, and then we can both see each other's posts on our personal homepage, right? Now, the personal homepage isn't the profile that you're looking at right here specifically. The homepage is the homepage, right? So we've got home, and then we've got profile. If I click on home, this is like seeing the home page of your Facebook profile. This is all the feeds that are coming through from other people that I am following, right? As you can see up here, we've got all, right? So this is all of my circles, everything that's coming through, and then these are all specific circles that I can organize accordingly. So I've got following, Breakout 2013, which is an event that I followed a bunch of people on. This is the Internet Marketing Super Friends. I don't know if you guys are familiar with that group on Facebook, but I had made a post saying, hey guys, since we're all marketers, we should be looking at all avenues. Even though technically this is a Facebook group, we are all marketers, and we should be exploring Google Plus. So it's been a bit of a challenge to get everybody sort of at least looking at Google Plus. But what I've done is I've gone through and I've just started circling all the people that I already know of and seeing where it goes from there. I already talked to the guy who runs the group. He seems open to it. So this is just kind of beginning stages because, again, it's still pretty new, and these are the things that I would encourage you guys to do. Take already existing places, already existing communities, and saying, hey, you know what, I'm actually a Google Plus expert, because honestly, in comparison to everybody else, all of you are. Okay, I now deem you with all the rights and privileges of being a Google Plus expert, because right now, yes, you are compared to everybody else. So you can go into your own communities in Facebook or LinkedIn or whatever that may be and say, hey, you know what, I'm actually starting to do some stuff on Google Plus. You guys should join with me. And so this isn't a community, it's just a circle. These are people that I've chosen to follow in a specific Internet Marketing Super Friends circle on Google Plus. All right, and then of course I've got cool peeps, people that I think are cool, and then I've got, all the other circles that I've created. Because this, when it comes to circles in Google Plus, think of it like an email list, except backwards, right? You are doing all of your segmentation ahead of time, instead of getting all the people to you and then segmenting them from there. If you find somebody, for example, this guy, right? If I mouse over this guy, you can see that he is a part of 2 of my circles. And what are those 2 circles? Let's see. So he is in Hangouters and Uber Hangouters, right? So this was a shared circle that I added, 2 of them actually, and then I circled all of these people, and this guy circled me back. But he is a part of 2 different circles that I added. So this should tell you that one person can be a part of multiple circles, right? There's actually a couple of people in here. Let's jump back over to the community that I have here. And if we come down here to the members and I click on See All, this will give you a better perspective, right? So let's find somebody here that I know is part of a lot of my circles. So, okay, Eleanor Pryor. She's a sweetheart, right? So you can see that she's a part of 5 different circles. And why is that? Well, first of all, she bought Tube Method, and most everybody who bought Plus Method had already bought Tube Method. All the people that bought Tube Method was put on an email list and then marketed to and said, hey, you should check out Plus Method. So anybody who bought Plus Method, I know automatically was a Tube Method member for the most part, right? So here's a Tube Method, and let's see, Hangout Moneymakers. That was a group coaching that I did back at the beginning of the summer. She had bought into that, and then she's a Plus Method buyer, and she's also, she also bought products through my affiliate link through Rapid Crush Inc. So I can look at all of these, right, and I can say, okay, Eleanor is definitely somebody who likes the stuff that I sell and the stuff that I recommend. So this is definitely somebody that the next promotion that comes around, she's going to be contacted on the next offer or the next thing or the next whatever it may be. Much more interested than, say, Bill Davis, who's in 3 of my circles. Does this make sense, guys? Because this, again, once you understand the concept of circles, Google Plus, super easy. So let me open the questions back up right here. And okay, a large following. How do you begin with a large following on YouTube? Right. We can touch on that some more later. I think I got the question answered. Yes. Thank you. Will this webinar be available as a replay in the members area? Absolutely. What's the difference between Google Hangouts and Hangouts on Air? Jeff, the difference between Hangouts and Hangouts on Air is a Hangout is for a private meeting for you and up to 10 people. It's not recorded and it's totally private, and it's like having a Skype call with up to 10 people, right? But a Hangout on Air is the same exact thing, except people can watch it live and it's recorded and put on whoever's running the Hangout on their YouTube channel. Does that make sense, Jeff? How many can you add to circles daily? When I try to add, say, 400, it pops up and says I've hit my limit. Yes. Now that's something that Google did ahead of time as they started opening up more and more options for people, especially marketers. You can only, when it comes to circle activity, not just adding people, but moving people from circle to circle. Right? Let's say that I wanted to instead of adding Bill Guthrie to another circle, if I just moved him from this SRPs to a different circle, then that counts like adding more people. So it's more than 100 but less than 500. So you want to be kind of picky on your daily activities of who you're circling and how many people you circle, because it will throw a limit at you saying, hey, you can't add anymore. But I can tell you, this is an experience that I've had with every Google product. The more you interact, the more you contribute to, the more you use Google Plus and the tools that Google has, the more flexible that they are, and the more flexible that they will be. I do not believe that this limit will stay like this. I think that in the future you will be able to add more than 500 people at a time, but right now Google wants to just monitor that and make sure that people aren't spamming and things like that. Or else then you get back into things like what happened with YouTube when people were spamming subscriber invitations and things like that, and Google just had to come in and start banning people's YouTube channels. And they don't want to do that. So instead, they're jumping ahead of the game and saying, all right, we're going to limit the daily activity of adding people to circles, moving circles around, those kinds of things, to ensure that we don't go crazy and try and use automated software to do this kind of stuff. Does that make sense? And let's see, go back up here. Lots of really great questions, guys. Keep them coming. I have several Gmail accounts but only use one Google Plus profile. Is your profile your main hub, or is your Google Plus a business page? Excellent question. When it comes right down to it, the smartest thing to do and the best thing to do is start with you as an individual. That your personal profile can create YouTube channels, can create Google Plus pages, and so on and so forth. Google just wants to make sure that any business page that you want to create is connected to a personal profile that is accountable for the activity on those pages. Okay, so right now, what you're looking at, I'm signed into my personal profile. I'll be showing you other pages that I have created that are underneath this personal profile. And so, but to answer your question more specifically, this is my Google Plus profile, and then business pages, other things, products, services that I have are specifically pages underneath my profile. But here's the other part of it, just in case you're worried. No, it's not really public knowledge that a page is connected to your personal profile unless you come out and state that I am a contributor to this page, which is actually a pretty good idea. I like doing that all the time. It shows other people that when they look at my personal profile, I'm contributing to the Plus method page. I'm contributing to the Tube method page. I am a contributor to those pages, so people associate me, Zane Miller, with these products that I create, right? So, but we'll be getting into more detail of what you do, marketing you or your page, because that's another big question that comes up a lot. Let me know if that answered your question, Kit, and if not, write it again. Zane, consisting of the circle growth. I want to use Google Plus to promote. Cool. There's barbecue and blues events. That's really because I'll be talking about Google Plus events, which are great for Hangouts, but they're actually meant for any kind of event, whether it's online or offline. So something like this, like when you say you want to use Google Plus to promote a barbecue and blues event happening in March. Oh, wow! I mean, especially if it's a physical location kind of thing, you can get a lot of leverage out of events. So can you have a private Hangout record for reference or review? Yes, you can, but YouTube won't do it automatically for you because it's not live and not on air, so therefore it can't record it. If you wanted to use like Camtasia or something like that, you could do that, but all the people that I've heard that have done that have said that when that happens, everything runs really slow because when it comes to live streaming video like a Hangout, it uses a massive amount of resources, not just from your internet provider and your connection, but also your computer as well. So then you add another resource hog, which is a screen recording software, because it's recording live video. You're pulling a lot of resources that bog down your computer. Now, if you wanted to do something like that, I would recommend that one person hosts the Hangout, and maybe you have another person, a different person, that records it, right? So if you have up to 10 people in that Hangout, one person does the Hangout, another person records it with Camtasia. That way you're diverting the amount of energy that it requires in order to do that. Does that make sense, Roger? Could you do a PowerPoint presentation on the Hangout where you are in attendance, but then use the recording of this to post to YouTube and Google Plus? If I understand your question, when you do the live Hangout on air, you can do a screen share of the PowerPoint, and since it's a live Hangout on air, it will record automatically to your YouTube channel, which will also automatically post to your Google Plus page or profile. Let me know if that made sense. John, a little late to the game, no problem. Does Google still have that 5K limit for following? Yes, they do. But here's the thing. Like, the name of the game is that you do not want to have you following other people is great, but you want to have more people following you than the other way around. So you are just one person. So yeah, there's a 5,000 person limit, but you can have millions and millions of people following you. It's per person. So you or I can only follow up to 5,000 people. That doesn't mean that only up to 5,000 people can follow you. No, it's quite the opposite. There are people who have millions and millions of followers. It's just specifically with you. I believe they have a similar cap in Facebook. Does that make sense? A limited number of people can follow you. It's just you following other people. That's a 5,000 person limit. All right, so when starting from scratch, what is a quick and easy way to get some relative content on your Google Plus page? That is a great question. We'll be touching on that in just a minute. Let me get through the rest of these questions. Will helpouts be a new marketing approach? Loss leader per se. That, you know what, the verdict is still out on that. I'll be totally honest with you guys. I've been so focused on Plus Method and Tube Method, making sure those two things have been top-notch content, that I have not taken any time to really investigate the helpouts, let alone like YouTube Live. But I do know that they're already taking applications for people to do it. So if there are any of you who are feeling brave and want to sign up for it and contribute to the community, I'd be able to whip up some content around that, because there have been a couple of people who have requested more information about helpouts, which unfortunately is a little out of scope because honestly it's so new, right? I would say, as far as a loss leader, it would definitely be one of those, because it would be a loss leader because not as many people are aware of helpouts in general. So it would be one of those things that you would want to make sure that you are available, and because a help out, you're actually interacting with people on a one-on-one basis. So you'll be spending more time and probably not getting paid as much in the long run, but as a loss leader, you get more and more exposure, and there's probably going to be some kind of ranking system with helpouts and stuff like that. I mean, it is so incredibly new that there's not really a whole lot of data out there to answer that question. So we'll just have to forage ahead and see what can come from that. So again, if any of you are willing to step out and be brave and test that out, please contribute to the community and let us know your findings. I will be doing the same when I get to that point. But I don't want to mislead you and say, oh yeah, here's my opinion on helpouts, when I honestly haven't done anything with them. So next up, how do you see all the people who are on your Hangout on air if they are watching on YouTube? You can't see them, but as the host of the Hangout, there is a viewer count, just like in this GoToWebinar. It says how many attendees are there. Same thing with the view count. Now, it's been a while since I've checked, but for a while the view count was about 20% below the actual number. So if it says 100 people on my Hangout, there's actually about 120. Now I'm pretty sure YouTube, because that's a pretty old statement, I'm pretty sure YouTube has fixed that, but you cannot see who's watching. You can just see how many people are watching. Josh Reed, who's left. Sorry, man. What would you look for when searching for a profitable Google Plus niche? Same thing with any other niche. This is more so of a deeper way to get more information about your niche. There's not a quote-unquote profitable niche on Google Plus. This is just an augmentation of those niches in Google Plus. So whatever is generally a very good niche for profitability will be equally profitable on Google Plus. More so because, again, we are all the early adopters. So if you're there first, you win, right? So how come I cannot find this community when I search communities? Greg, the reason for that is because there's a couple of different types of communities. There's, just like Facebook, there's the public community, the public-private community, which means that you can search for it and find it and request to be in, or ultimately just secret. What you have to do, Greg, is hit up support right? I got to go back through. Just hit up the support desk and say, hey, I would like to be a part of it. Give them the Google Plus, or not the Google Plus, the Gmail account, the Gmail address that you use for Google Plus, and they'll get you in. Again, Rebecca Holman is the awesome, she's the bee's knees. The Rapid Crush support is support.rapidcrush.com. Shoot them an email, a message, say, hey, I want to be involved in this community, and give them your Gmail address that you use for Google Plus, and they'll shoot you right in there. Kit says, okay, thanks. All right, next, I have a long-term Gmail account with my first name, initial, and last name. Recently, I created a full name Gmail account. Is there a benefit to using a more established Gmail account rather than a new one? No. When it comes right down to it, it comes down to the Google account, and the Google account is what creates the Gmail account, so on and so forth. When you create the Gmail account, usually it creates the Google account. So honestly, there's really no difference between having a newer one or an older one, unless you have a lot of activity on the Google Plus profile associated with the older or newer one. But from what it sounds like, you don't have a whole lot of interaction with Google Plus, so pick the one that you like the most, but just be sure that whatever the Gmail address that you're using is the Gmail address that will be your full real name on your Google Plus profile, because that's what's going to give you most of the benefits in Google Plus. So let's see. Can you do a Hangout on an iPad? Yes and no. You can do a regular Hangout, right? So if it was just like a private meeting with you and up to 10 people, not a problem. You can do a Hangout on an iPad, no issues whatsoever. A live Hangout on air cannot be started from a mobile device, but if a live Hangout on air starts on a computer, then the person who is running the Hangout can invite anybody else, and if you get that invitation link, you can do that. You can click on that link through an iPad, mobile device, whatever that may be, and join in the Hangout. So again, you can do a regular private Hangout and start it yourself on an iPad or mobile device. But a live Hangout on air needs, at least for now, needs to have just a regular desktop or laptop computer to start and host the Hangout. And then if you have a mobile device, you can invite that mobile device into the Hangout and participate just as you would in a regular Hangout. Next up, I first tried to find specific shared circles by doing the search. For the first time I've been able to. Can you show us again how to find? Yes, I will show you how to find shared circles. That's actually going to be a part of. That's more part of this. So I was a minute late and missed how to join the Private Plus method. Yes, go to support.rapidcrush.com. Shoot them a message. Say, hey, this is the Gmail address that I use for Google Plus. Please add me to the private community, and they will be added. You cannot search for it on Google Plus because it is so secret, but this is meant just for the buyers. So I don't want anybody to search for it on Google Plus and find it. So this is just for the buyers. So you have to go through support and ask them to bring you in. See, I have had a Google Plus profile. Set up a Gmail, YouTube account, my business brand. Wow, that's a long question. We'll have to come back to that. Oh, Debbie, you're signed up for Helpouts. Just need to fill in the info. Excellent. Good source for reliable info on Helpouts. Even better. Looking forward to seeing your contribution in the community. Is there a reason why you've used GoToWebinar versus a Hangout today? Just because it's because that's how Rapid Crush likes to do it. They're used to doing a webinar for the review stuff. It's much easier to make sure that all the recordings and stuff get to the right places. I have nothing against doing a Hangout. The other part of it though is that if we wanted to get it recorded, then it would have to be live, and there's a possible potential that somebody might be able to sneak in, as unlikely as that may be. So I mean, to have a ultimately private recorded event, it's better just to use GoToWebinar, because a live Hangout on air is live and anybody can jump through it. A live Hangouts on air is not the absolute replacement for GoToWebinar until they come out with some way to do it privately and still record it, right? So live Hangouts on air should be focused on more of a promotional thing, because you've got Google search engine. When a live Hangout on air, you do that. I mean, it shoots up to the top of the search engines pretty quick if you title it the right way. So, promotional stuff for Hangouts. If you want to keep things private and secure, do a GoToWebinar, and that'll be the case until Google does something fancy and says, okay, this is how you can record it privately without anybody else seeing it. So let's see, I am the creator. What is the best way for me to rock this? That's a great question. We'll have to circle back around to it later. And again, I encourage, if there are questions that I'm just not able to get to, because there's actually a lot of Hangout questions here, if there's a question that you were not able to get answered, join the community and throw the questions out there. There are also a lot of people who've been doing this since the beginning of November, even a little bit earlier, who are well versed. They can contribute and answer questions just as much as I can, and again, that's the reason for the community. So if you don't get your questions answered, you can fire them away in the community, and we can take it from there and really encourage a community response. I have a Google Gmail with my full name. Can I get another Gmail account in a business name that is connected to my Google Plus account? That is a good question, Nadine, and let me see if I can probably put a video like that together, because what you can do when you create a Google Plus page, that Google Plus page can sort of have its own rights and abilities, similar to what you can do with a profile. So you can create a page, and there's a couple of steps that I could probably show you through a video. We don't have time for it here, but essentially that page could create a Gmail account for itself. So I'll probably just make a video out of that. Most people are pictures with comments too much. Most of my posts are pictures with comments too much. No, not at all. In fact, let's jump back to my profile. Right, you'll see. Let's make. Okay, yes, it's set to public. Right, so a lot of my posts are exactly like yours. Right, a picture and a comment, and that's it. It's not too much. It's not too little either. In fact, people really like it. Now, this also goes into. This is going into touching into. Do I market me or do I market my page? Right. So what you see here, this is my personal profile. Right, but if we jump over here, actually not that, that's the wrong one. We've got the Tube Method page right here. There's the Amazing Selling Machine. This is an interview that I ended up doing with Jason about Amazing Selling Machine. So of course I created a YouTube channel with it, created a Google Plus page, etc., etc. There's the Amazing Selling Machine. Then we've got the new Plus Method page as well. So these are all different pages, but they were all created underneath my profile, Zane Miller. Right, so. A lot of time it comes down to that question of, do I market me or do I market my page? And it's really, I wasn't anticipating this to be a burning question, but it's definitely worth going into since so many people are wondering about it. When it comes right down to it, the only way to answer this question is to decide how you want to market your product or service in general. Do you want to be the face of your product or service, or do you want your brand to get the exposure? Because pages and profiles can do the exact same thing. So you don't. It really does come down to preference. There's nothing limiting you to what you can do with a Google Plus page as opposed to a profile. And profiles are for people. Pages are for anything else, brands, products, charities, I mean, you name it. Anything that's not a human being is a page, but they both can do the same exact things. So do you want to be the face? Do you want people to contact you directly? Or do you want to put that sort of barrier that this is my brand and this is who I am when it comes to this? Either way, no matter what you decide, it's crucial that you're genuine in your posts, whether it's your personal profile or your pages. Now, since I've done quite a few pages, everything I see online could potentially be something that I could share or repurpose in a post or something like that. So I'm constantly asking myself as I'm going online, does this pertain to something that I personally like, or is it something that's going to help somebody else, or what have you? Most of the time, if I'm not in research mode, it's my own personal stuff. So you can see here, right? So me personally, I like to be very genuine. I'm a nerdy video game guy, so I make a lot of posts about video games, but I also love Google Plus and YouTube. So my personal profile has a mixture of personal and business stuff, but all of my pages are strictly business things because no one wants to know about my personal life on my business pages, right? So I've got this shared circle, right? And don't worry, I'll be going into how to find those shared circles because that was another question that was asked. I have here that I posted earlier this morning, YouTube and Google Plus Smarties, right? And I posted this and I added myself, sort of things, but I'm also a big Doctor Who fan, right? So when I found these, I shared these as well. Go down a little bit further, we have the new Xbox One, the Kinect has a sign language translation, and I have a deaf brother, and even the gamer in me says, hey, this is pretty cool. So this connect, it was actually kind of a mesh of a couple things. Here's some technology stuff that's happening. Here's some things that I'm personally in. So again, these are all decisions that go through my mental filter and decide where, not if I'm going to post, but where I'm going to post and what I'm going to say about it. So you can see more and more stuff. This one here, recently, let me scroll up out of that GIF that's distracting me. There's a page on Facebook called I Effing Love Science, right? Now what they did recently, this is a brilliant idea, guys, especially if you have some kind of Facebook page presence and you have a lot of people following it. What this gal did is she made a YouTube channel and said, hey guys, this is going to be the channel for this page, for this Facebook page, and she explained exactly what the strategy should be. She said, every week I'm going to make a video of the most popular posts on the Facebook page. You could not get an easier stream of content through a video if you paid for it, right? So all of the most popular posts on her Facebook page in relation to this specific page, she just gathers them all up, and once a week she says, these are the most popular posts and why, and she makes a video about it, and boom, done. So she's actually leveraging all the momentum that she built up on Facebook and funnels it through YouTube, which also splashes down on Google+. Are you seeing the benefit there, guys? So that's something that I posted. I thought it was really cool, and is something that I should probably also post, now that I think about it, on my Tube Method page, right? So I'm using me as also marketing my products and services, but that's me, right? You don't have to do it. You can just keep your personal stuff just personal and keep your business stuff just business. But you can see that the different types of content that's here, it's a mixture of what I like and what I do. Whereas like my Tube Method, right? There's nothing humorous or random about it. This is all stuff specific to YouTube, right? So this is tentpole content working its magic, right? This is a Halloween YouTube video that I made, basically explaining that, hey, check this out. Here's everybody hates scary clowns. This is a scary clown singing a beautiful song, right? So as we go down, right, this guy does an excellent job with AdWords for video. I saw this video right here as an advertisement before another video, and it's just, hey, I'm the tutor guy, right? So come over to my YouTube channel and you can get some tutoring lessons for free. Amazing way to peel traffic off of YouTube, right? And then of course I posted my event about getting your first 100 subscribers on my Tube Method channel, right, when I did it in the first place. Over here we've got the Amazing Selling Machine. Recently, today, I posted here that the Amazon's drone delivery. Right? I don't know if you guys have had the chance to see this, but Jeff Bezos was interviewed on 60 Minutes a couple of days ago, and he said, yeah, we are going to start using these flying drones to deliver Amazon products. I mean, can you guys imagine an hour after you buy something on Amazon, it shows up at your door? Amazing, right? So since this is a topic related to Amazing Selling Machine, of course, I posted this as Amazing Selling Machine in this article. Right? So only business-related stuff on the business pages. If I so choose, I can also influence my personal profile if I want, which I do, but you guys don't have to. Again, it all comes down to what you want to do and how you want to do it. The most important part and the most crucial thing here is that you need to be genuine, right? Does that make sense? So before we move on to the next topic here, the biggest point that I want you guys to focus on here is that the content on your page or profile will determine whether or not someone will follow your page, right? So if I start going out and I circle a bunch of people on Google Plus through my personal profile, then they're going to look at my profile and make a decision. They're going to say that they're going to get a notification just like you see here, right? So this guy right here, it says these people have added you to their circles, right? So at this point, because everybody does this, they go, who's this person? And they mouse over it and they say, okay, well, this seems interesting. Let's see what this guy's all about. And this is where they make the decision of whether or not they want to do it. So, okay, is this somebody that I can relate to? Do they have content that's interesting to me? No, because it's all in German. okay, well this guy is following me, but it would be kind of weird. Let's see, can we translate it? Yeah, all right, cool, great. So, all right, yeah, maybe I will follow him back. But the point is that it's the content that you post on your page or profile that makes that determining factor. So when it comes to your page, and you want people to follow that, and you want to build your brand or your personal profile, whatever it may be, you need to start putting content on there that will appeal to them. Just like here on my personal profile, I've got a bunch of random geeky nerdy stuff, but I've also got plenty of actual business stuff, right? So this is this is actually really interesting. Every time a plane flies over this sign, this interactive billboard, this little boy gets up and starts chasing the plane, and it actually tells you what the plane is and when it took off, right? So, I mean, pretty clever stuff, right? This one, I got one of those receipt scanners, and all of their tutorials are on YouTube. So I thought it was really cool, and I said, hey, I got this, and I think this is really cool. And you can see that the Neat company, this is their YouTube channel, right? If we go down a little bit further, we see that we've got CircleScope. This is a post about a really cool, great Google Plus tool. You guys will be able to see more about that in the community. CircleScope is a fantastic tool specifically for Chrome. This is another one. This is Goldie Blocks. This is a YouTube channel that was created to help promote engineering type toys for little girls instead of just forcing them to play with Barbies and stuff like that. I thought it was pretty slick, and they did a really, really great job with their advertising, so I wanted to post that. So we've got social media growth, we've got all sorts of stuff. So when people see my profile, when I circle somebody and I say, hey, you should circle me back, they can see that, okay, this guy is into nerdy video game stuff, YouTube, and Google+. Is this something that I can follow? Yes. So again, how do you market? That comes as a personal preference to you, whether you do a personal profile or a page. It's the content that you post that will make the determination of whether they follow your profile or page or whatever it is that you're reaching out to. Now, you're probably wondering, okay, so where do you get this content? As you can also see, there's not a lot of this stuff that's mine personally. I'm just resharing it, right? So if we go, let's actually thin this out a little bit. So you see there's Alexander. Let's take out this one and this one. All right, so one of the coolest things about Google Plus is that it has the backbone of Google's search engine built right into it. So at one point or another, everybody in here does some kind of keyword research. Can I get a yes or a 1 or something like that, yes or no, that you guys have done keyword research? There's a gazillion tools out there. There's not any one that's better than the other because it all pulls from the same exact resource, which is Google, right? So, okay, getting lots and lots of 1s and yeses. So any one of you who've done keyword research will somebody throw out a keyword that you would want to be found for, and throw it into the chat. Yoga, puppies, feng shui. Okay, all right, so we're going to do yoga. Now, I don't know if you guys have ever tried to do a search on Facebook or any other social media site, but you cannot find any helpful information. Right, so when you use the Google Plus search engine, it gives you a bunch of different ways you can refine this information. And again, you can just find one keyword and you can find a ton of content. This is exactly what I've done with every single one of my pages, profiles, whatever mood that I'm in, whatever I want to push or do or share. This is where I start. I start with a keyword because obviously if people are searching for those keywords in Google and so on and so forth, then they will also be searching for it in Google+, or will be attracted to that content if they see it on your profile. So you drop the search into Google+, and the first thing we've got is everything. This shows you everything, and that's great, but we want to refine it since there's so much information. So if we wanted, we could go to people and pages and find specific people. This we could actually find people who are experts and connect with them, and instead of trying to get them to follow us, we can just follow them. So if yoga's, let's see, who was it that said yoga? Find out who you are. Nicole, okay, all right, so check this out. Check this out. You could just go through here and you could follow every single one of these people and call and make it your yoga circle. Then you could go back to your home page and open up the yoga circle, and you're given tons and tons of information right there. And anything that you think, hey, that's pretty interesting, boom, reshare. You reshare it publicly on your profile or page, and then the next thing you know, you got some great content from somebody else that you're just curating. But when you are circling other people and they're deciding whether or not they should follow you, well, bingo right there. If you are following somebody that's interested in yoga and you have content about yoga on your page, even though it's not yours, it's just curated and reshared, they go, okay, this is someone who's interested in yoga, I can follow. Cool, I'll follow them back. Simple as that, right? So again, I've got all sorts of stuff that I put on my personal profile, but when it comes to like a specific page that I want to promote or even something that I want to talk about, I go and use Google Plus, right? So we've got people and pages. What about communities, right? Oh wow, look at that. Look at that. All right, so we've got a yoga community with 32,000 members already. All right, you think you could probably find some good content about yoga in this community? Let's find out. All right, so perfect. All right, this guy looks like he knows what he's doing when it comes to yoga. I could just as easily find this and say, okay, so you give it a +1. Awesome, +1. And then you click the reshare. Boom. Now, right now, since the last thing that I was on was my plus method page, right now it wants to post as plus method. But let's say this is actually yoga. I could make a note, something. Hey, this guy is really great, and this is why I like him. And then you can post to your circles, say specifically to your circles. But you're also going to want to make sure that this is posted publicly on your page. That way, again, anybody who just comes across your page sees it and goes, this is content that I can get behind. Yes, I will follow this person. Does that make sense? Genius. Aw, thank you. Okay, so let's take a minute and make sure that I can get through all these questions, make sure you guys can digest all of this, because we're almost through this full hour and I haven't even scratched the surface of what I want to go through. So let me go back up here to the last time I was looking at the questions. Audio was gone, now it's back. Awesome. Great questions. Should my email I use in Google Plus be the same as my Facebook email for any reason? Nah, they don't have to be. It's again, the most important thing is whatever Google account that you start with, whatever Google account that you create, should be your personal one, and everything that you do should be underneath that personal one, because again, you don't have to worry about any of it coming back to you unless you want to outwardly publicly state that, yes, I am a contributor to this. For the most part, no one will even know the difference between your profile and any pages that you create, right? Does TubeMethod have a private group as well? As I also purchased that in the TubeMethod. No, we do not have a specific private community meant for that. That's been something. The reason why I keep humming and mumbling around is because it's been something that I've been meaning to do that I just haven't been able to get to, again, since Google Plus has been one of those things that we knew we had to that we had to approach, but didn't really have an idea of how to do it. So we're getting into that. I will be doing that more. I would like to actually revamp a little bit of the content in the course before I do, so we're just going to have to kind of put a pin in that. But thank you for bringing that up, Franklin, because it is something that should be done. Can I build a profile for a client? Yes, and I'm really glad you asked that too, because it's an awesome question. And I do also mention this in the content as well. But you can create a Google Plus page underneath your main profile. Then you can give managerial access to your client, and then after a few weeks you can actually transfer ownership of that page to the client and still maintain managerial access to it, right? So you start out and create it, because I'm sure you know as well as I do that if you had them create it, it would take forever. So this takes out a lot of headache in the process. You just create it underneath your own profile, you make them a manager. Once they accept the managerial invitation, then after 2 weeks, then you can transfer it over to them. Does that make sense? See, when you have a page like plus method, can you get the circles from other pages? Yes, you can. A page acts exactly like a profile. Let me see. Let's see if I can go back real quick. Well, okay. So we're here on plus method. So we'll go to the page here. Yes, that's YouTube posts. So let's see. Is there anybody in here? People you may know, right? So okay. So James Gunn, actually, he's a member in the community. Are you here in the webinar, James? Yes, no? We'll see. So I am in here. You can see this is plus method that I'm logged in here to. So if we come down here and I say add, it does the same thing. It acts exactly like a profile. You have the pre-made already following. What are the four? I can't remember the four. But I created a couple of other circles, right? So we've got plus method community, VIPs, team members, that kind of thing, right? So it acts exactly like it. I can go through on the page and circle as many people as I want and vice versa, and you're good to go. So let me know if I answered that question accurately for you, Tony. And we've got a super long question there that I'll have to come back to later. Okay, I have an old YouTube account under YouTube with my, and Google wants me to link it to my new page with my name or to my Google Plus profile. What would you recommend? Ellen, I'm going to encourage you to join the community and post that question into the community to make sure that we can approach that, because this is one of those things. It's definitely a community question. It's not so much a here's the right or wrong answer. It's the this is what we recommend. Let's kind of mastermind around it, because there are no, again, it's still really new into this. So there are recommendations, but ultimately it has to be a decision that you make on how you want to interact with your business and what your goals are with your business. So understandably, we can't go over it all here, but you can, in the community, you can ask the question and we can all discuss it, and you can make a more viable decision from there. Greg, I'm also going to tell you the same thing. You said you're drowning and overwhelmed posting pictures, these kinds of things. Again, join the community, post it in there, because your question is also another question that's more community-based. You don't need to feel like you're overwhelmed or drowning in any of this stuff, especially since we have a community of people who are willing to discuss with you and go over some different options and whatnot. That's the beauty of a community, right? So you don't always feel so overwhelmed. Okay, so let's see, Sean. If I decided to set up a specific Google Plus page rather than use my personal profile to promote, is there an easy way to copy all of the existing followers I may have built up on my personal page and copy them across my the easiest way to do that, there's not like some software out there that'll do it, although there might be. But now let me get to the heart of this question. This is what I would recommend. If you have a page and you want to transfer all of the people that are on your personal profile, have all of those people in a circle in your personal profile, which I'm sure you already do, and start making posts, because it just won't work with one post. They won't always listen, right? So you have to send out a couple of them every few days or so. Send a message to those people specifically within that circle, right? So so if I wanted to do the same thing, I could say, oh, calm down. I don't want to share this with anybody but my following, right? So the people that I'm following, this is the message that I want to write. And then here I would say, hey guys, thank you so much for following me. What I'm actually going to encourage you to do is to go over and follow me on this page. All right, this is the best place, your whatever benefits, et cetera, and then just drop the link of your Google Plus page right here, and so they can see it, and it's a message directly to them, nobody else, and so no one else will see that you're trying to push this over or whatever. It's the right people to the right people. And so the reason why I encourage to do it every couple of days is because they won't always listen, and so it takes a couple of notifications say, hey, do that. The next thing that I would do is go over to the page and then try and find those people that you already have. There might be an option, again, drop that question in the members area. Okay, getting all tongue-tied. In the community. And I believe that there's a tool, that CircleScope tool that I was telling you guys about, the Chrome-specific tool, that might be able to be more of an automated solution for you. But for the most part, I'm going to encourage that strategy, especially since if you have more and more people following you, anybody who does land on your personal profile, they can see a notification saying, hey, you should actually follow me over here. Let me know if that made sense, Sean. Let's see. Wondering how to make the best of Google Plus as a realtor. I do not have a physical address for my business to use the Google Local Maps. That's actually something I would say that Google Plus as a realtor is a really good thing, and this is actually a strategy that I would encourage with any offline sort of angle. So let's go back up to the search bar here, right? So let's see. The way that I would do it is like especially for like offline, right? So if we say dentists, right? Now these are all what I would do here is, you know, something like dentist. I would make a circle full of dentists, or I would make a circle of my contacts that I have already made. Now I don't know how many people, you know, how many contacts that you have, but I do have family members that are in the loan and real estate world, and I know that every real estate company has these weekly meetings, the wants and needs meetings kind of thing, right? So you have some kind of contacts. I would start with those contacts and put them in a specific circle, and in that circle you would communicate messages of things like, you know, hey, here's some great information about this area, or are you interested in this? It's again being that that presence that is the expert, because I don't know what the study was, but it takes roughly about 9 months from somebody to go knowing nothing about the house that they're going to buy to actually purchasing the house, and it's not until like agent 14 or 15 that actually gets the deal, right? So if instead you are anticipating that, and you know that it's a long process and it's a long game, then I would circle all the contacts that you encounter, or anybody that you're connected with in your real estate office or what have you, and start sending them, you know, different little messages demonstrating that you are the expert and you should be the one they go to, and by constantly notifying them that even though you're the first or the sixth person that they've talked to, you are the expert, because they keep seeing interesting things about exactly what they're interested in, which is the house in the area that they want. So let me know if that makes sense. I can circle back around. Excellent question on that. I encourage more. So, what is the plus 163 at the top? You must mean the. Let's see. Let's go back here on the actual page, right? So, if we go to the plus method page, or whatever it is, right? So the plus. So this is a total number aggregate of the plus ones, not just plus oneing the page in general, but just anything that has been plus one. So so if I click this, if I plus one the picture, in a second this will reflect 43 instead of 42. So the total number of plus ones for the page in general, including posts, including responses, those kinds of things, that's what that number is. Let's see, going back down. Okay, there's the keywords. So if targeting local businesses, you search for Mexican restaurants, Los Angeles, or chiropractor San Diego, but then how do you put them in a circle? Well, let's do exactly that. So let's see, we did chiropractor, chiropractor San Diego, bingo. So you just mouse over it, right, and then you can either click one of the predetermined ones that Google gives you, or you can come down here and you can click on Create New Circle, and you can create a new specific circle just for that, right? So so anything like that, you can have that in a specific circle. This is also touched on in the content as well in Module 2. So let's see, do you list the word like yoga on your profile page, like keywords? Yes, the more often I can use my keywords, the better. But again, we're dealing with a much more social aspect than just a regular website. So you want to use your keywords early and often, but you don't want to overdo it. You still want to understand you are communicating with people and not machines. So if you can naturally integrate your keywords, I would strongly recommend that you do. If you can't, just kind of tone it down. All right, please feel free. It's fine, thanks. I may have missed, but what is the difference between following and circles? Following is just, especially when it comes to more well-known pages and profiles, it's kind of taking a page from Twitter, right? You can follow the person, or you can just have them in a specific circle. Following is just a specific circle that Google Plus naturally gives you, and then that can be the circle that you can check in on and say, these are all the people that I'm interested in that I want to follow. So on the same token, everybody who has a Google Plus profile has the default setting of one of the circles is the following circle. So it's a determination for them, but it's no different than any other circle aside from the mental vision of, okay, this is a person that I'm following, so when I look at the following circle, these are all people that I respect and want to know more about. All right, does that make sense? Vanity URLs. How to claim a name. I claim the name for a personal profile, no problem. Wanted to do yeah, that's a pretty long question. Susan, go ahead and if you're in the community, drop that in the community because when it comes to a vanity URL, what she's asking is that you see, where are we at? Plus method. Okay. So right now, no, that's the community. Come back to just the plus method. All right. So what we have here is we have this URL here. It says google.com / and then just a bunch of gobbledygook, and then plus method. This is one of those things where when it comes to a personal profile and a page, there are different requirements needed in order to get what's called a vanity URL, which is googleplus.com / then your personal name or the name of your Google Plus page. Now you can again, those rules are different to make sure that it gets approved. So drop that question in the community because that'll help with the discussion because those are different. Basically, when it comes to a personal profile, that's much easier because all you need is a headshot, a real picture of your face, and you have to have at least 10 people in your circles, and you have to have the account for at least 30 days. Once you've got that, you'll see a little button that will show up on your profile. It says claim your vanity URL. You click the button, and then it says, okay, you've got your vanity URL, which is Google just decides that for you. You don't get to decide. It's either going to be your name, or if it's a Google Plus page, it will be the name of the Google Plus page that you set up in the first place. Again, drop that question in the community so we can discuss it because there are more details when it comes to the page as opposed to the profile. Sean, excellent, thank you. Please repeat again how we gain membership to the Plus Method private group. Again, go to support.rapidcrush.com. Give them the Google Plus give them the Gmail address that you use for your Google Plus, and they will get you into the community because you cannot find it in Google Plus anywhere. You have to be invited in. So hit up support, and they'll get you in there. Will there be a replay? Yes, there will be a replay, and it will be added to the members area. There will also be the notes that I have here also added to that as well. Makes sense, thank you. Can I see my communities on my pages as well as my profile? Yes, whatever community that you're, whatever page or profile that you're currently logged into, when you go to communities, you'll see. So let me show you. This is a perfect time to do this, right? So you see that I'm logged in. I'm here under my Plus Method page. If I go over here to my flyout and I come down here to communities and click on that, you can see, okay, these are the communities. Where are my communities? I want my communities, that's Plus Methods. Okay. Oh wait, no, I didn't. Okay, yeah, I'm sorry. I didn't create the community under the Google Plus page. I created it under my main profile. Whoops. But the fact still stands. If you are logged in and the page is the one that created the community, if you go down to community, you can see right here. These are all the communities that you moderate or created, and then communities that you have joined. Does that make sense? So back to, let's see, I've changed my first name from this. Okay, I think I don't think I understand. Yes, there will be a replay on Hangout on Air, is it possible to have a chat like GoToMeeting so that, yes. In fact, in the Hangout itself, there is a chat button. When you click on the chat button, it opens up a chat box that only the people in only the participants in the Hangout can see. The viewers of the Hangout will not be able to see those comments as that chat section is meant specifically for those people. So there's your answer. Whew. All right, I'm going to take a swig of water here. You guys are fantastic with these questions. It's really opening my eyes to a bunch of different things. So let's X out of this. All right, so there's the Chiropractor San Diego. This is something else that I wanted to bring up as you are growing your circles and as you so let's say that you're making posts and you've seen a lot of me sharing other people's content, but that doesn't mean that you can't share your own. In fact, I strongly encourage that you do. If you have a blog post that you want to share with other people on Google+, then go ahead and do that. But I would recommend that you use the Google URL shortener, and the URL is just goo.gl. And it brings you in here, and it's under, again, your main profile. So if you're logged in under your Google account, personal profile page, whatever it is, you can access this, and it's also a really, really good tracking system as well. Right, so this is where you would put your long blog post, and then you'd click the shorten URL, and then you'd grab that URL, and that's what you would post in your Google Plus post. Like, so let's say that you have, let's say that I had a post on my blog about the new YouTube comment system that I brought up earlier in this webinar, right? So I've got this blog post on my blog, and I want to post it on my Google Plus profile. And again, there's nothing wrong with just using the regular URL, but if you use the Google link shortener, you can get a lot of really interesting details on it beyond that, and see how many people, right? So you can see this a general overview, right? Especially if you've got an affiliate link. Anytime Jason brings up the interview that I did with him about domain cloud, he always makes fun of me that I have just the naked link out there. So that's when I started doing the link shortener. And you know, I like Google. I might as well use their service. So let's see. Let's take a look at this one, right? So this one had 98 clicks. If I click on the details, it's great, right? I mean, I could get a bunch of information right here. It tells me the browsers, the major source, right? You can see Google Plus is one of the major sources of traffic. That when I use this URL, tells me countries, tells me all sorts of great details, right? So it's free and it's connected to your account, and you can always keep track of those links. So I strongly encourage doing that. Let's see, URL shortener versus Bitly or other URL shorteners. Yeah. Bitly works just fine, but when it comes to Google, I might as well. I figure use the shortener that Google provides if Google provides the shortener. I have not seen any specific benefits or disadvantages of using something else. I just figured that since it's a Google product, might as well use it, and maybe there will be some benefits later down the road, but nothing has come up as of yet. So let's jump into doing these shared circles. Somebody had brought it up and said they needed some help with that. So let's do this. This is how you do again. Also, I mean, the biggest reason why you're posting all this content, this relatable content on your page or profile, is so that when you are doing things like you know, this is the search term. If you're wondering, this is also covered in Module 2 in the course. But if you search, and I like to add the quotes, in quotes I say shared a circle. Put that in quotes, and then whatever keyword, right? So there was yoga mentioned before. Shared a circle, yoga, right? So this means that someone is sharing a circle and it has something to do with yoga. So this is the main big topic. So anybody in any of these shared circles, they have something to do with yoga, whether they're somebody talking about yoga, somebody interested in yoga. That's what they're interested in, right? So all we got to do is we click this, we click on add people. Again, this is also in the notes that you can actually download this PDF after this is over. I'll hand it over to Dave, and it will be a part of the replay in the members area, and you can download this as well. All right, so the first step is you search shared circle with the keyword, and then you find a circle that you want to add yourself to, and you want to click on add people. Next, you either create a new circle, right? So you can just type in, new circle or yoga, right? And it will create a new circle called yoga. Or you can just say, what was one of the other ones that I had? Hangouters, I think, was one of them that I had, right? So you can add these people to a new circle or an already existing circle. A lot of times when it comes to doing the shared circle strategy, people will have a sort of shared circle that they just dump everybody into, and then they wait until they wait and find out who circles back, and then they'll just move them over from there, or they just dump them all in there and go from there. So that's entirely your choice. So once you're done, actually, I'm just going to go ahead and do this. Actually, I'm kind of interested in yoga, so and this might be under my. This is under Tube Method. Okay. Anyway, so I'm going to click Create Yoga Circle. Now I have a yoga circle under Plus Method. I'll have to delete it later. Now what this does is this takes us to the circles area of your profile, right? So I mean, as soon as I clicked it, it took me here, and it shows, okay, here's my following circle, customers, VIP, team members, etc., right? Now what I can do now is I can take this same circle already, and then I can click the Share Circle, and this is the coolest part. You've got this button right here. It says Include Yourself in Shared Circle. Right? Now, I've done this a couple of times, and this has benefited me massively. In fact, I have not actively gone out and found shared circles for some time, yet you guys have seen, even during this webinar, more and more people just get these notifications. This huge list of people have circled you. It's because I am sharing these circles, and I am adding myself to the circle, and therefore when it gets shared by other people, I'm automatically in there, just like that. Now, what you can also do is go out and find people who actively share circles. There's one that I share in the community. It's called Crazy Circles, and I think one or two others. I actually just went to the person, and I said, hey, can you just add me to the circle when you share it? And he said, yeah, sure. Here's what you need to do, though. You need to +1 my shared circle post, and you need to comment on them and things like that. But if you do that, I will happily keep you in the circle when I share it and encourage other people to share it. So it's a crowdsourcing thing almost, right? So you want to add yourself to the circles that you share and get that out there and share it with other people. And then if you come across people like I said, this Crazy Circles guys, but there's also lots and lots of other people who actively share circles. Just reach out to them and say, hey, will you add me to this circle when you share it? And just make sure that they're making a good decision, right? +1 them, comment on their stuff, that kind of stuff. And what ends up happening is that you just multiply and multiply this sort of crowdsource situation where you end up like me. In just a few short weeks, you just got more and more people sharing their circles and adding you automatically. And then you get to pick and choose, hey, do I want to circle this person back, right? Because you don't have to circle somebody else for them to see your messages. As long as they circle you, you make a post to your circles and they see them. Make sense? So there's that question as far as the sharing the circles. Again, it will also be in the notes. The notes will be available when the replay is available. I don't know when that is. I give that content to Mr. Dave Gamage, and then he gets it all together. So if you don't see it in the members area, it means that he hasn't put it up there yet. So we've gone through the sharing circles, sharing content, basically the same sort of thing. You want to share things that you think are interesting, or write posts yourself. But as you can see, there's a lot more content out there that you can curate, and you don't have to worry about as much of contributing your own content, because no one notices the difference. I promise. There's a good 99% of the stuff that I just reshare, and no one cares. They just want to see that the content that you are aggregating, that you're curating and putting out there, is something that's related to them. They don't care who the author is. So let's see. All right, did the Google shortener. I'll touch on the code of conduct, because a lot of social media sites have their own sort of code of conduct that the experienced and influential users do, so that they can get active followers. And Google's the same. So some do's and don'ts. You want to respond to your audience. If you get mentioned, if someone like pluses your name and mentions you, comment back to them, +1 their post, say thank you, those kinds of things, because they'll remember that. All right. Don't overdo the references though. Like if you're like, hey, like a lot of people like to do this on Facebook, and I think it's more annoying than nice. Is that, you know, I'm here with me and 16,000 other people, and they just mention the reference, and you know they're just trying to get traffic to their website. So don't overdo, like, you know, if you're going to reference somebody, make sure that it has something genuinely to do with the post that you're making, and say, hey, I thought this would be interesting for you, or I thought of this person, or even better, I found this post from this person and I'm resharing it. Because when you reference that person, when you put the plus icon like this, right? So say plus, right? Plus Jason Fladlien, right? So I do that, and then it makes a little drop down, and then I can say plus Jason Fladlien. He will be notified, and he will see it. So if there's an article that Jason writes, either on his blog post or on Google+, whatever it is, I can say, Jason Fladlien wrote this thing, and I thought it was really cool. Here's what I think. Thanks for the help. Boom. So you've actually bolstered your connection with this person, and you're also getting a lot of authority sort of peeled off as a reference, because I'm referencing Jason and his content. Let's see, the homepage. So let's cancel out of this. We touched a little bit on the homepage here, but again, this is how you can see exactly what's going on in each of your circles. So if I click on following right here, these are all the people that I'm following. I don't know why. I mean, am I following myself? How conceited. Let's scroll down a little bit further. Oh no! I'm on plus method. No wonder. Okay, so. All right, so I can find, let's scroll down further. Oh, there's not many people that I'm following on this page that do a lot of content posting. I do. All right, okay, here we go. So this is people that I'm following, right? So I clicked on following Superhero Summits. It's something that I followed, so I can see what's going on here. And if you're following people in your own niche, this is a really great place to find content that you can reshare, and then also put you on their radar when it comes to joint venture things, right? They see your name, they see that, hey, this person's sharing a lot of my stuff. This guy seems to know what he's doing. All right, cool. So the next time a promotion comes around or something happens, they're far more likely to communicate and work with you than anybody else, simply because they see that you're actively pushing out their content without them having to tell you or ask you or anything like that. So let's take a brief moment and go through some more of these questions here. Go right back up. Let me ask real quick to everybody, has my audio been cutting in and out? I just had the Comcast guy come this morning, so I'm pretty sure it's not my connection, but let me just double check. Can you guys hear me all right? Has there been any audio issues? Because it seems like Nicole has had some issues. While we're waiting for that response, can people attending the HOA ask me questions through a chat, but only I can see them? I don't want to have a storm of discussion with Alex. There's not any way for somebody to individually do it unless, you could probably set up a Skype group, maybe, or do some Skype conversations, but there is nothing like that for you. I'm sorry. Let's see. Any advantages to Google versus Bitly? We already went over that. Is there an advantage to use? Yeah. Can you remove yourself from someone else's circle? Well, I mean, someone can circle you, but you can't uncircle yourself. You can't. No, you can't do that. But what you can do, I have a circle called Really Annoying People. Right now, there's only one, but I put them in their own circle, and then yeah, let me show you what I mean. So let me come up here. We've got the people here. I need to switch back to my regular profile here. All right, so here I am in the home page. So here's all of my circles that I have on this. So here, RIP, Really Annoying People. I can select this circle, put the people that I don't want to hear about or anything like that, put them in this one circle, and then I can say, let me show you with a different example, like following per se, right? On the home page, on your home page, not your profile page, but your home page, find the circle that you don't want to hear from and click on your little gear here, and you can see it says show posts in home stream. You can say no, I don't want to see this in the home stream, and then you can say I want to see more of these people's posts, or I want to see less of these, or standard. Fewer just means you'll hear like next to nothing, right? So that's exactly what I do with that circle. The people that I just don't want to hear from are in their own circle, and I basically just mute them, and I can't see or hear them. So that's probably the best way of going about what you're talking about, Peter. You can't remove yourself from someone else's circle, but you can make sure that they can't interact with you to a very, very low minimum. So can we circle a page rather than a personal profile? Yes, you can. If we come over here, so we'll say, again, yoga. If we go to yoga in the Google Plus search, and we come over here to people and pages, see we've got take yoga now, right? And I'm in my personal profile, so I can go take yoga now. Wow, that's a lot of pluses. And I can say, all right, I want to follow this page, or I want to add this page to a specific circle. How long do these posts stay visible? Forever. I mean, like it's on the stream until you do something with it. It's you know, if we like for instance, this seems to have a lot of content on here. So we see the scroll bar going down, right? But it'll just keep repopulating until you get to like the very beginning of this post of the creation, right? We're going back further and further, just like Facebook. It'll just keep going until you get to the actual beginning of the actual creation of the page or profile. Let's see, good here. So, all right, audio's okay. It's been good. You may have to refresh. I don't know, if everyone's hearing me all right, then that means the recording should be fine. So if there's anything that you missed, you'll have to hear it, rehear it in the replay. But from what I'm getting, everyone's saying that the audio is fine. So let's see. Do you worry about using a trademark name like Amazon in the name of the page? I think you are referring to this page here. Let me come back up here. The Amazing Selling Machine, right? Now this is a product that was created. Actually, I helped Jason sell it as an affiliate. It wasn't, so someone else had created it. I know Amazon is not a big fan of having their name associated with an information product, so that's why they called it the Amazing Selling Machine. But anything that I post on the page, I can reference Amazon as much as I want because I'm talking about Amazon. It's not a name in a URL. It's not a name of a product. I'm not tainting their perfect name. I'm just mentioning, I'm saying, hey, Amazon, right? Which actually leads me to another good point. I'm glad that you mentioned this, Kit. Part of the etiquette that is mentioned, that I was mentioning a little bit earlier, is it's not so much etiquette. It's more of a strategy thing. If you look at this Amazing Selling Machine page, you'll notice that I have a lot of I've got hashtags, right? So we've got Amazon Drone, Amazon Prime Air. That's actually what the service is called. But if we scroll down further, you can see that like these other posts, I've got hashtag Amazing Selling Machine. Now hashtags, they're actually their own list, if you will. It's its own list of things, another way to catalog content. And what's cool is that, I mean, like you can whatever hashtag you can think of, even if it didn't exist prior to you making it, it still creates its own list. So if I click on this Amazing Selling Machine, you'll see that here's a bunch of related hashtags, but I can say see more posts about Amazing Selling Machine. If I click on this will take me to a search results page with everything related to hashtag Amazing Selling Machine. So if anybody else sees this, or they see the hashtag, they see this, and they click on it, they say, well, look at that. Wow, okay. Amazing Selling Machine, Amazing Selling Machine. These are all the videos that I did with Jason when we were selling the Amazing Selling Machine, and I put the hashtag in there, right? So there's obviously hashtags that are more popular than others. I mean, hashtags are pretty much identical to tags. It's just a new way of doing it, right? So you throw some hashtags in there. If they are, if you create a hashtag that has a keyword in it, you'll probably notice an uptick in clicks because people kind of think that way. Like, ooh, hashtags. People love hashtags, right? But right now, no one else is using the hashtag Amazing Selling Machine. Even though it's the name of the product, I'm the only one here, right? So, and I'm sure over time it'll change. There'll be more people using this particular hashtag when it comes to the Amazing Selling Machine. But right now, woo, it's just me. And so people will just see this massive list, like, wow, there's a lot of stuff about Amazing Selling Machine and hashtag Amazing Selling Machine. That's really great. So, again, it's not necessarily etiquette. But it's one of those things that help refine information, especially when people see it. They see a couple of different type of hashtags. It's almost like getting a few snippets of what the content is about ahead of time. So let's see. Alrighty, we've gone over the home page and now into communities, right? So you guys have seen the private community that we have here. Let's see, what do we have here? Well, thank you, Debbie. See, just like that, more people adding comments and posts. Love to see it. So right now, this is a private community. But one of the great things that you can do, and I strongly encourage, is to find public communities, like we did with yoga. You saw that there was one that had 32,000 people in that community. Now, Nicole, I'm going to strongly encourage that you hit up that community, you join that community, and you find whoever the community leaders are, the owners or whatnot. It's really easy to find out who they are by scrolling down. In any community, it doesn't matter, like, just because this is private doesn't mean it's any different. It operates exactly the same, and you can find the community leaders by finding the little star in the corner of these things. So if I were to, let's say that this was the yoga community page, I would find the people right here. I'd say, okay, this is one of the moderators or is the owner or the creator of it. I want to contact this person and I want to do an interview with them, because you could not get a better way to get that whole entire community following you than if you interviewed that person through a live hangout on air. Does it make sense? Right? So contacting these people, going into the community, joining the community, and then you can go into the community and go, hey, look at this, right? So let's see. Let's see all, and let's find out if there's anybody in here that I haven't added to a circle already yet, because we've actually, right, we went from 35 to 40 to 50 people. All right, so we got some more people in here. Let's see. All right, so this is somebody that I think probably during one of the hangouts or the events, I saw him and I'm like, ooh, he's probably somebody who's in my community. So I created Plus Method community for people that I didn't know if they were a buyer or not, but they were somebody that would be potentially interested in the content that I have to offer, right? So actually I can take this now that I know he's a part of the community, because he requested access in here. I know that he's a buyer of Plus Method. So I can come here and also add him to my Plus Method buyers. Right? So now he's a part of 2 of my circles. I know that he's a buyer and he's a part of the Plus Method community. Bingo. Done. Just like that. Right? So again, this is what I'm trying to demonstrate here is actually more for finding the owner. So you come down here to the members, click on See All, and then you'd find out, okay, we've got Rebecca, who is a moderator, and then Zane, who is the owner. Right? So this is the person that I would want to contact and say, hey, I want to do an interview with you, right? And the beauty of interviews is that no one gets stage fright when it comes to an interview on either side, because as the person doing the interview, you're just asking the questions and you're just waiting for a response. And on the other side, the person who's being interviewed, they already know all the answers to the questions, because they're all questions about what they're doing. So it's a very, very low-key, low-pressure sort of situation that everybody's game for. I've said this time and time again before. When it comes to interviews, they were the easiest thing to get moving, simply because there were so many people that were willing to do it. If I never had a negative response either. If someone didn't want to do it, they just didn't reply. But there was an overwhelming response of positive responses. Yes, yes, let's do this, let's do this. So if you want to get a bunch of people following you all at the same time in a very targeted space, find a community, a public community, and interview that person. Again, I'm looking at you, Nicole. You got that community full of 32,000 people. You contact the owner of that community, and you do an interview with them, and then do that hangout. Encourage people to follow your page, follow your profile, whatever it is. Again, that's entirely your decision of how you want to market. say, hey, follow our page, do this, do that, communicate with us. Or if you have your own community, you could do the same thing. But when if you're going to go around and doing interviews, probably would do better just to stick with a page and then interviewing these people. But what will happen is everybody in that community that's following that person will start following you, and it'll just keep cascading from there. So let's go back to some of these questions, and I'm gonna tag on to from the communities to events, how we would set something like that up. So let me open up these questions here again. I want to create a page about selling on Amazon. Not difficult. Does Google Plus auto-populate? I don't think so. That's not a term I've seen. So maybe, I don't know. Not right. Can you maybe rephrase the question? I don't think I understand it. Well, thank you, Kit. I'm very happy with the course. You're saying it's a good course. Is there a way to keep a list of really useful posts that you find when like certain two-method posts? You see, I know with YouTube you can save like like a list of videos and to watch later. But as far as like a list of really helpful posts, what ends up happening? Let me see if I can find this, because this is really good. In fact, no, actually, it's in the Plus Method community, and I believe. Let's go back to all posts. What a lot of people do, Tony, is they actually will make their own personal post. Right, so this is what I would recommend doing. If there's a bunch of posts that you wanted to leverage and use, then I would just make it entirely private, and so it would be a post that you would see, but no one else would be able to see it. Right, so you wouldn't share it with anybody. Let me see if I can find this post so I can explain to you what I mean by this. It should be coming up any second now, because it was shared here. Really good post, and I'm gonna strongly encourage, if you haven't seen this post, you definitely need to check it out. We are almost there. It's basically all the inner workings of Google Plus, and it's a bunch of really smart Google Plus guys, and somebody just curated all of these posts together that were really insightful, extremely powerful. Come on, where are you? Now, let's see. Come on. Where are you? I know you're here. You're just hiding. First month on Google Plus. I know it's here. Or maybe I just shared it. Maybe I shared it publicly with everybody. Yeah, and again, guys, this I mean, there's a lot of content in the community here, so it'll definitely keep you busy. This wasn't it either. Okay, I'll have to find it later. But again, Tony, what I would recommend is making your own posts. So you'd actually make a post, and then you write it, and then you put any of the links to these other different pages or profiles or what have you, and then you would just basically just share it with yourself and no one else, and then you could come back and refer to it, and no one else will be able to see it except for you. And then if you wanted to later on, you could just click reshare and share it with a bunch of people, make it public. So I hope that answers your question, Tony. Let me know if it has or has not. Let's see. Answer a few more of these questions, and then we'll wrap up with the last few points that I wanted to touch on. Okay, great. Is there a way to add everyone from a community to a circle all at once? Unless the community is already in a circle and then you just add that circle, no, there's not. You'd have to go to each individual one, right? So a lot of people like to do that, especially like if they share a circle. If there's a big shared circle, then they'll also make that all of those contacts into a community as well. But I don't think people have got to that point just yet. But there are a few people out there who have a community, and in that community there's a post that says, here's the shared circle of everybody. But that's still pretty rare. So it would be something that you would have to initiate first, and probably would be a really good idea, right? I mean, like, you'd be that person that was like, hey, here's a really good way of doing this, and then people would just follow suit with you and say, oh yeah, I started doing this because this guy said to do it. It's a pretty good idea. Is the interview saved for replay? I believe what you're talking about is the interview with the community leader. When you do the interview on a live Hangout on air, it automatically records to your YouTube channel, so it will be saved as a replay. Okay, good, Nicole. You've joined the communities. I'll do the interviews soon as I learn how to better run a Hangout. Okay, perfect. Then I'm going to encourage you to make some posts in the community, because it's weird, because Plus Method and Tube Method, they blend so much together, but I believe the line where they meet is actually Hangouts between the two. So that would be a really good discussion to have. So I encourage you to sort of post your findings, ask for some recommendations from the rest of the community, and go from there. So this you cannot schedule Google Plus. You cannot schedule posts to Google Plus profiles. There's never been you've never been able to schedule Google Plus posts at all. I don't think I quite understand. Do you mean that? Because I do know that there are softwares out there, and I guess some social media sites that allow you to schedule posts ahead of time, but I have not found any software within the core code of Google Plus or any third-party software that allows you to do that. Let's see. I did a live Hangout on air, and I noticed in the upper right hand, I did not. Yes, a lot of times if there's if topics come up, especially Google Plus looks at the title of your Hangout and will automatically drop hashtags in there. Like for instance, like this one, right? This one says hashtag love 1D day, right? So if Lauren wanted to, she could go back through and say, okay, these actually aren't relatable, and she could delete. She could just, the little X will pop up on any post that you make. If there's a hashtag that you don't like that's automatically populated in there, when you mouse over it, a little X will pop up. You can click the X, and it'll take out the hashtag. See, I've seen suggestions to make a private community so you can share from profile or pages to have them all in one place. I don't think I understand the question. How do I share with myself? You should be able to just refer yourself. So, like plus Zane. Yep. You should be able to do the same. No, okay. Right. So by doing this and saying, I'm accidentally clicking inside the community here, so I can't do it. It's not exactly the same way, but just reference yourself and then don't mention anything else, and you're good to go. All right, so all the questions out of the way. Let's move on to events, right? Here we go. So this is an event that I made. It was a bonus when I did Tube Method. It was with Bill Cousins. If you're a Tube Method member, you can go ahead and check it out, or you can just search for it here and find it in Google Plus. We talked about the first 100 subscribers, and this is what I encourage when it comes to events, and why I think that they are so incredibly important when it comes to promoting anything. First of all, when you create an event and you make it public, it's there forever. Just like someone had asked, how long do these Google Plus posts last? They last forever until you delete it, or what have you. It's there forever. So this, even though I did this on October 11th, this is still here. People can find it, and they can come to this event page, and they can go, hey, look, okay, here's the video. Here's a bunch of comments. Here's a bunch of people talking about different things. Here's some links. Here's some stuff, and I do this intentionally as far as an event goes, because it's difficult. It's really difficult, especially with marketers, to break the mindset, the difference between a GoToWebinar registration page and something like a Google Plus event. GoToWebinar registration pages, I know you get the email address, and that's really, really awesome. But if you're using Google Plus and you're using Google Plus to market, this is an extremely powerful thing. Because first of all, when you make the event, you invite these people, right? So this is what I did. I invited all of my circles, and I said, here, this is what we've got. So we got a bunch of people who didn't respond, 2 people that said maybe, and then a bunch of people who went. Well, at this point, I can look at all of these people and go, okay, then I'm going to segregate these people even more so into, I can make a circle that says Hangout, Google Plus Hangout for YouTube. These are the people that went, and I can make a circle just for them. I can make a circle just for the people who didn't respond. Just like the people, when it comes to an email list, you separate the people from the people who opened versus the people who didn't open your email, and you can contact them again, right? So these people that didn't respond probably needs a little bit more interaction from me in order to be able to get them to go to the next Hangout or the next thing or buy the product or whatever the end goal is for me. Whereas the people who went, I go, hey, great, guys, this is really awesome. Here's some more things. It gives you just data points of where people are at when they interact with you, right? So not only is it a great way to, segregate your different contacts and whatnot in how they interact with you, but it's also this great little registration page, because when people are sent the notification, it says, are you going to go yes, no, or maybe? Now, if you click yes or maybe, it automatically makes a post to your Google Calendar. All right. Now, since everybody's using their personal profiles and their personal names and everything like that, then anything that posts on their Google Calendar, they get reminded, just like GoToWebinar does. Hey, there's a Hangout. There's an event happening. This event is happening. Plus, anybody who makes a comment in the anybody who makes a comment in this area it will post to everybody who's been notified and said, hey, someone's made a post on the event page, whether or not they've actually said that they are going or not. It's all the people who were invited. So there's always this constant update everywhere between the Google notifications themselves down to the comments themselves. There's always something that's saying, hey, something's happened, something new has happened on this page. You need to go check it out. So it's a registration page. It's also a reminder, and you can also leverage it in marketing later. More and more people can find this and watch this video. This, even though this is a live Hangout on air, this is actually a new YouTube video that posts right here. So when people land on this page later, they can get just as immersed as the people who were watching live, because they've got the video, they've got the comments, and they've got all the interaction that everybody else already had. So you create the event, right? You create the event, and I encourage that you create the event 5 days prior, at least 5 days prior, because it gives time for Google to sort of aggregate it. And sometimes, not all the time, but sometimes the event can actually be posted on the home page of the event saying that, hey, this is an event that's happening, only if you do it 5 days or later, or 5 days or earlier prior to the event. This also gives you time to make posts. If we scroll down here to the bottom, when I first made the post, right, so what I did, right, so actually when I did this is actually the day before, but somebody had asked, here are my questions, right, is this what you're going to be talking about? And so I responded on the same registration page / event page. I said, hey, yes, the replay will be posted, and this is what we're going to be talking about. I hope you guys like it, right? And so he responded, and then a bunch of other people started making comments, and all the while, everybody who was invited was constantly reminded, saying, hey, there's a bunch of activity happening here. You need to go check it out, and people are naturally drawn to this. The other benefit to this is that you can actually put links in the event page. So you can be doing the Hangout, right? You could be going through and saying, let's say that you have something that you want to sell, and everybody's already used to being on the event page. You can post the live Hangout link right in here, and so everybody's already used to being on this page, communicating on this page, talking to everybody, being reminded of what's happening. So it's a natural transition to go, okay, here's the link. There you go. Go ahead, and then you drop it in. And then if somebody says, "Hey, where's the link?" Hey, it's in the description, but it's in the comments. But I'll go ahead and drop a new link in there so that you guys can all see it. Or you can also just post it right there in the details. Let me show you what I mean, right? I'm logged into the right place? Yes, I am. Okay. I should, okay. So I can go here and I can click Edit Event, and this is exactly what you see when you click Create Event in the first place. All right, there's no difference. I just clicked Edit Event. This is the same exact information, right? So you've got the title, which is important, especially if it's going to be a public event that you want other people to look at later. So I said your first 100 subscribers, -2 method, etc., etc. Event options. If you want to put the live, you know what I'm talking about, when you actually start the Hangout and then you have the live link that you can send to people and people can jump on that. You can post that on this page by clicking Advanced right here. And we also talk about this. This is in Module 7. Now, the module in Plus method that specifically talks about events, right? So you check this Show More Options here, and it will give you more options in here, right? So this gives you a link. In fact, here, let me show you what I mean. Right? So it says YouTube URL optional. So you're going to paste the link of the live Hangout once you've started it, and you're going to post it right here. You click Save, and what it will do, I'm doing a bunch of things at once. What it will do is it will post your live Hangout right here just below this event. So again, it's the place that everyone's already used to. They're already used to making comments here. They might as well watch it here. And then again, if you're selling something, you can put the link to the sales page in the details and also in the comments of the actual event page, so that again later people can either click here or they can click on any of the links that are offered that you post during the event. That way, you're not having to deal with any third-party software or any issues or anything like that. You're using Google's core software to do all this stuff, and then you're not having to worry about, because I do know that there's a lot of software out there that can help with Hangouts and whatnot, but you can do all the same things on just with the core development stuff without having to do any other additional third-party stuff. I would strongly encourage that you get used to all the tools that Google already provides before considering any software. Let me just put that out there right now. So there's events. Let me make sure I got everything there. Right? Yeah, there's that. Yes, 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 yes. And yeah, okay. Let's see. So you can schedule to pages via Hootsuite. Okay, I'll be honest and clear again. I have not used Hootsuite. I just know that it's a social media tool that lets you do a bunch of social media stuff at once. But that's about as far as I understand it. Okay. Is there a way to put circles in alphabetical order? I don't know. That's a great question. I'll have to look into that. Do me a favor, also post that in the community and see if there's somebody else who might have that answer as well. When you put a PDF link in the details box, can you delete it afterwards? So, yes, you can. If I wanted to, I could go back through and I could go into Edit Event, and you can see this is the details section. I said here's the PDF, and I could just delete it just like that. So just a simple matter of going in and going to Edit and deleting whatever it is that you don't want to have in there. All right, will do. So yeah, I'll make sure and let Rebecca know that there's going to be a tidal wave of people coming through, because I want you guys to be there. That's what it's there for. So we can all discuss and chat, and I'm sure there's a lot of these posts, a lot of these notifications that I'm seeing that have more to do with something that's happening in the private community than anything else. So looking forward to doing that. But we have come to the end of this particular webinar. Again, this was focused on all the basic stuff so that everybody could get on the same page. Anybody who's watching this as a replay later on, covering all the basics that we've got. In the next webinar, we will be going into more of the advanced stuff, like the tool that I keep mentioning, the CircleScope tool, authorship, Hangouts, things like that, things that really should be addressed after you understand the basics, right? So I mean, we could go on for another couple hours talking about all the advanced stuff, but the advanced stuff won't help you unless you've got a good grasp of what's happening with the basic things. So I'm going to go ahead and open this up to more questions, but I'm going to go ahead and wrap it up within the next, I don't know, 5-10 minutes to make sure that this stays short. Well, at least as short as it can be, right? We've been at this for 2 hours. Let's see. After you listening to talk on the Superhero Summit, I looked at my Google+. I would like to change circle titles and move folks. Yes, yeah, that can be done, and I would encourage it. I actually did the same thing myself, so I would encourage that, because especially when you're on your home page and you've got these different circles that you can check in on, you want to make sure that those are titled properly. In addition to that, all of your circles, you can name them whatever you want, and they are private. The name, like, no one sees the name of the circle until you share the circle. So make sure that any circles that you make are things that you would potentially want to, share, as far as the names go. But you can go back and you can change the titles of those circles. Well, I'm glad it was very helpful, Nicole. I'm glad that there are people out there who are as excited about Google Plus as I am. So thank you very much. All right, more requests over to Rebecca. Oh, well, thank you, and I totally understand. There's a bit of a panic mode sometimes when it comes to like, wow, there are so many great things that can be done, but understand you are still miles ahead of everybody else, Kathleen. So you are solid. Okay. Next webinar, that will be January 7th, I believe. Yeah, January 7th. After the Christmas break and everything like that. So again, this is a great time to jump into the oh, thank goodness. I knocked over my cup full of water, which is empty. Thank goodness, because that would have splashed all over my keyboard. All right, so where was I? Yes, so January 7th is when we're going to be going into that. So if you have burning questions within that time frame, Rebecca will be letting you in into the community, and we can discuss that more. Again, I want to encourage questions to the general community as well as myself. In fact, if there are questions directed directly at me, I will also encourage the group to respond, because there's not just safety in numbers, but there's more ideas in numbers as well. So I am not the alpha and omega. I'm just the guy who saw this stuff first, but there are lots of people. There's a handful of people who are making some different made some different points in the community that I had never thought of, that I thought was really cool. So find some other people in there. There's also in the categories themselves, right? Each category, let's just go ahead and just jump to the community. You can see all the categories here. We've got module 1 through 8 and even the bonus modules. So if you have questions specific to it, jump into that and ask the question, and if there's anything that you find insightful that is related to these different modules, please feel free to share it with the rest of the group, because it'll also teach you, hey, this is how you share posts in the communities and things like that, and it'll help everybody else, and definitely help me, because there's only one of me and many of you. Let's see, started your course yesterday and learned a lot so far. Can't wait. Awesome. Well, I'm glad that you're enjoying this, and I'm glad that the community will be of benefit to you. Well, you're fantastic too, Terry. Let's see, where is the vanity URL link on the profile page? Tony, that's going to be something when Google says that you've done everything that you're supposed to do, that's when it'll populate. But more than likely, it populates right here at the top. So, I mean, if you logged into your Google Plus profile and you have the ability to do the vanity URL, there will be a note here and then a blue button that says vanity URL that you can click on. You're welcome, Trudy. All right, well, we are at 2 hours on the dot. Does anybody have any burning questions to throw in here before we go right under the wire? Lots of thank yous. All right. You're welcome, Nadine. Have a super fantabulous day. I will. Alrighty guys, well then whatever questions that you might have, again, I strongly encourage you to drop them into the community. I'm sure that there's a lot of people here who just jumped all over the support tickets, so if there is anybody who is wanting to get in who hasn't, just give Rebecca and Cheryl a moment and they should get you in very quickly. And I will see you in the community, and I look forward to chatting with you more. So all of you have a great day, and as a final note, when will we have the other Q&A session? That's going to be January 7th, okay? So thanks so much for being here, and I'm going to give you all a thank you and goodbye. Bye.